How you doing, guys? John and Joseph and Junior. It's all the J's lined up. Hans, how are you? Let's see. Okay. What I want to do this afternoon is a little different than what we did this morning. Um, and that is are some sort of unusual things that came up. Excuse me. In a watch purchase and how it resolved itself. I mean, something very strange. Um, and so anyway, we'll wait for some more people to get in here. But do you guys have anything? What's the weirdest thing that happened? Hi, Derek. Nothing ever weird happened to you? Mm-mm-mm-mm. You get. Hi, Javier, Donald. How you doing? Okay. All right. Nothing weird happened. Hey, Andrew. Okay. Well, some of the things. Let me give you some examples. Okay. Purchased a paddock. It was fake. Oh, that's awful. Jeez, that is rough. The first paddock Philippe I bought from a guy I'd never met, didn't know anything about it, sent him the money. I mean, I was really dumb, but I was also lucky. And everything the guy said was true. I got a good buy. I still have a wonderful paddock Philippe 3468. Some things work out, others don't. That's terrible, though. Hi, Hans. How are you? Mark? How are you, Andres? Hey, Andres. Thomas, how are you? Could you repeat the question, please? Sure, Thomas. What is the weirdest thing you've had in a watch transaction? Well, I told you guys about some of them, so we're waiting for for people to show up. Let me remind you of some. I told you about the guy in one of my favorite countries, the Netherlands, who wanted me to hire a courier to go to his office to pick up the watch and then have him take it down and send it to me, to FedEx it. That was weird, but it was one that never happened. And I told you about the time that the guy wanted to smuggle watches in with an airline stewardess, but some of the ones I haven't told you because I don't want to tell you everything about it. Hi, Mark. How you doing? So let's see. Other than well, I also too. Has anybody else got a fake? One thing. The movement in my El Laura was not what they implied it was. They didn't say it was an ETA 7001, but they implied it. When I called them in Switzerland, they acted like they didn't know what was in it. I mean, gee, we don't know what we put in our watches. Really weird. But the one of the things that happened that I haven't told you guys about, that I'm only going to tell you part of it. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what watch it was, but some weird stuff that happened. Friend of mine helped me get this watch, and I got a real good deal on it. And it came from Europe. Okay. And so they sent it to me. They sent it FedEx and got stopped in customs. And customs said, it had a gator strap on it or something. And they said, unless you have the CITES papers, we're not going to let it in. And they didn't. So they sent it back. Hi, Tony. So anyway, trying to figure out what to do about that. Now, the easiest thing that I've done since then is simply send me the bands if you don't have all the CITES paper, and most of them don't. Well, they've made it very convoluted, and I whined about that before, but I'm not going to do it again. So now just So anyway, so then I think it was, I got it on WhatsApp. Guys, we want to communicate on WhatsApp. So, okay. So I got a WhatsApp and set it up, and the guy was back and forth, and they were going to get it to me somehow. I had paid for it and everything. So it wasn't that. And, no, it wasn't LMH, Donald. Another one. That's another story that goes, it's even weirder in some ways. INS something. So it's Hughes, isn't it? Anyway, so then I start getting these little things. We'll have it on such and such a date, and all of these little clues. And so one day, I was waiting for the thing, and the guy said, "Well, listen, I'll let you know when we have it." And so I'm in Connecticut. It's about a 3-hour trip from here to New York City. Drive down to New Haven, pick up Metro North, and then it's 2 hours into the city, right in the middle of Grand Central Station. So it's very convenient once you get there. Takes a little while though. So here it is. It was early afternoon. This is in the summertime, and I get this message. The guy says, "Come and get it now." And I said, "Well, where will I meet you?" I said, I'll meet you at Grand Central. Is there like at the information booth or something like that?" He says, and he gave me a phone number. Okay. I don't know. Never ever know what happened to that phone number, but it was so I drive down to New Haven, hop on the first train that I can catch, Metro North, that goes into Grand Central. Okay, so I'm there 3 hours later. And I told the guy that's what it would take me, and so forth. And so I give the guy a call, and now Grand Central is on 42nd Street. And this guy said, "Well, start walking toward 25th Street." I mean, those are long blocks. So you're talking about, I don't know how many blocks it was, but it was a long way. So, okay, so I started walking. I mean, this is weird. So I was walking down Park Avenue. I decided to take Park. And it was a nice day, and I love walking. And walking in New York City is one of the funnest things I can think of. So I'm walking down Park Avenue, and I get down to 25th Street. It takes a while, but I'm down there. So then I call the guy again, and I say, "Where should I meet you on 25th?" He said, "Start walking." Oh boy, I guess toward Fifth Avenue and over in that direction, and I'll be over on. I think they were over on 8th Avenue, is what they said. So I start walking over there. And I get there, and there's New York has got a lot of people. There are all these people running around. So finally, I called again, and I said, "I'm here. Where should I go?" This is what I figured. I figured the guy had some kind of some little office down there or something like that, with having selling watches out of some little shop. So nothing. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the guy comes up and he said, he asked me, he says, "Are you Bill Sanders?" I said, "Yeah." And so he says, "Who told you about this? And, where is this from?" And so forth. So I told him, I said, "Well, I got this guy in this European country. And then he did this, and I contacted so-and-so." And then I looked at him and I said, "And I finally contacted you." Now, I'd never met the guy before, but he looked really funny, like, "Oh, yeah, I guess so." And so he gave me this watch, and it was everything I'd hoped it would be. In fact, it was even more. It was a beautiful watch. And then I turned around, and that guy was like smoke. He was gone. I mean, literally, I have no idea how he disappeared, but he did. I have no idea how they got my watch to me, but they did. My hunch is somebody who was coming over from Europe. They said, "Here, take this watch with you and give it to Joe or someone, and there's this guy who'll pick it up from you." And that was that was sort of that was one of my weird stories. Uh, you know, okay, let's see now. Mark, you've got some. I bought my Maurice Lacroix Jacques Bandit movement. All right, from Ukraine. Trying to get my money in Ukraine with U.S. sanctions was an adventure. I was on pins and needles, waiting, wondering if I bought anything. That's interesting. Now, I don't think, God knows what's going on with our international relations have been goofy lately, and so that was something. Okay, going to buy a watch at an AD and having an assistant shout out to the assistant serving me, "You can't sell that watch," because one of the people who worked at the store wanted to buy it. Oh my God! A very similar thing happened to me, and I think I mentioned this to you before. I'd made a deal with a jeweler in Beverly Hills, and this was to buy. I think it was a FP Journe Octa, and we had negotiated a deal and was all set. So I talked to the guy. I don't know. He called me, I think. He said, "Look," he said, "I'm sorry, but," he said, "one of my regular customers wants it, and I gotta give it to him." And now, here's the funny thing. I wasn't mad at the guy. I have to respect someone who takes care of his number one customers first. He told me the truth. He didn't give me some song and dance that, they lost it or some other cock and bull story. So, this is how I ended up getting my resonance that went to the moon in terms of the price. Sometimes good things. So the guy, about a month or so later, he calls me and said, "Oh, the guy changed his mind. Do you still want it?" I said, "No, I already got something." But yeah, you can have Thomas, that's you're ready to buy a watch and somebody says, "Sorry, one of the people working here wants it." That's wild. Meet you in the alley behind the dumpster. That was almost you. That happened to you, Hughes? You was, "Hi, Abdul, how you doing?" Let's see. What else? "Hi, EPR from." Let's see what else you got. This is a weird story. That would have made me wonder. There are a lot of things going on that are, just strange things, like the guy who wanted me to get the courier, or this thing most recently was that, and thank God for Chrono 24, when I got a guy in Poland, I sent the money in, and he was, giving me sort of the stall until finally I said, "Look, I'm just going to call to get my money back." He said, "No, I'm going to send it." So he sends it, and he sends me the tracking number. So I'm tracking the thing, and it comes from this town in Poland that he lived in, and made its way up to the customs in Warsaw at the international airport there, and stopped. And it didn't go anywhere. So finally I told him, I said, "Look, it doesn't look like this is going to work because of, they had some kind of restriction with the US because of COVID. Who knows?" Okay, let's see. What is Abdul? "I've always had good interaction with ADs, but one AD in Stuttgart talked me and my cousin into buying Devon watch. We paid $8K for it." I don't know what is a Devon watch. Hi, Rick. What's a Devon watch? I had another one that, the ones that, going back to, if a deal is too good to be true, it's usually not. There was a guy in Australia, in some little town, I forgot the name of some funny little name for a town. But he was going to sell me an FP Journe Chronomat Blue for 15,000. And I thought, man, so I started negotiating with the guy. And, I asked him, I said, "Could you set it to this time and let me look at it?" So then I got this thing back. I swear the guy must have been working with Photoshop or something and trying to get the watch. And I wasn't sure. All of the photos were blurry. And I learned my lesson about blurry photos because I'd been sent a blurry photo of a movement that was not what was in my watch. So, but that one, I think I've mentioned this before. If some deal, if their socks squeak, if something's wrong with it and you don't know exactly what it is, just let it go. I mean, if there's any doubt, bail. That's, I mean, you may be wrong. So what? You may be right too. But if you have a feeling that something's just not right about this, don't do it, because your feeling comes from some information in the interaction, and it's usually set off an alarm bell. Sometimes too, if you dealt with someone who was as crooked as a dog's hind leg, and you meet somebody with certain characteristics that are the same, but as honest as the day is long. Let's say that you have a deal with some guy in I don't know, Patagonia, someplace like that, and he doesn't do right, and so then you get another thing from somebody in Patagonia who's really a good straight shooter. Now I'm not going to do with them because they're from Patagonia. That's sort of weird. Mark, let's see. Yeah, my Maurice Lacroix got to the U.S. The day they put on the shipping restrictions for Europe. Barely made it here. Yeah, well, that was a nice one you got too. I like being able to buy a watch from anywhere. I bought them from China. I got this is my perpetual retrograde from Hong Kong. I love this watch. And it was, I had no problem with that transaction. And it's funny, I don't know, they had, I don't know what kind of, it's a gator looking kind of strap. I don't think it's probably leather with gator stamp on it or something. Okay, let's see what you got. I have not had any bad experiences buying or selling, but they've been very careful and diligent. The other party walk away if needed. Yeah, you're right about that. You are perfectly right. Only buy from a reputable seller. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's I think we all try to do. Sometimes we find out that the most reputable aren't as reputable as we thought. High underachieving watch collector. Don't buy watches from a guy stored in his trench coat. Oh no, that's where half my collection's from, underachiever. From a guy. Hey, tell him Joe sent you. Yeah, there's certain things. There's so much money involved. I made a video a while back of one of the scams they had. Now, this was in Asia somewhere. And what these guys were doing, they would buy a watch. Let's say somebody advertises, and this is, somebody in that area or some certain city, they would advertise, I'll say a Patek Philippe, okay? And they would want, I don't know, let's say 30,000 for it. Pretty nice Patek Philippe. And so these guys would come and they'd say, all right, listen, we want to get it. We want to buy that watch. But, we got a flight back to, I don't know, Timbuktu, wherever they were coming from. And so I'll tell you what we'll do is that we'll give you a direct deposit. We'll meet you at the airport, transfer you the money, and you can see it right on your computer, and then we'll be able to get it that way. But we can't, because of our flight. Well, what they did was that as soon as they made the transaction, got on the plane, and there wasn't enough money to cover it. That was either that or they canceled it after they were gone with the guy's watch. That's something else too. If somebody is in a real big hurry or about to leave town, because I got that. There was this one guy overseas somewhere. He was in Europe, And he said, "Listen, I'm going on holiday tomorrow, and so I can make a deal with you, but after that, the problem with that is that they can then, you don't get your watch, and you don't get it, and you don't get it, and then you're thinking, oh well, the guy's on vacation. I'll you know, don't ever anyone who has got one foot out the door saying they're going to their wedding or to their funeral, doesn't matter. Don't deal with it. It's not always a scam, but it is, I think, more often than not. Czech, Hungary, Romania, and Bulgaria are also on my list of not recommended to buy. I don't know. If I was in both places, in the Czech Republic and in Hungary not too long ago, and yeah, they're like anywhere else. I mean, you got some scoundrels, and the United States, we got a lot of scoundrels. I think they're all in political office. I buy from a Russian dealer sometimes, but never had an issue. He's based in Latvia. Yeah, now this is another thing. I've noticed that a lot of watches, the kind I want, are from Latvia, and here's my hunch. Okay, there's some kind of deal with Russia that we can't buy them from Russia. Um, so maybe from Latvia, that makes it a little easier. Okay, what else is going on? Hans, I'm looking very lumberjacky. Yeah, I know. I put this shirt on and wanted to go cut down a tree there, Hans. Got screwed through eBay buying a Zenith Elite in Russia. Money back, not quite good ethics from eBay. Huh. Yeah, it's illegal. Not only not only ethics, but you're not supposed to do that. I mean, by buying online, I went to all of these countries and bought watches there. Ah, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, Abdul, that makes sense. Um, okay, let's see. Hey, James, what's it? What about watches in China? I see a lot of good deals on Chrono 24. Very tempting. I've had nothing but good relations, good deals with China. When I was before I retired, this must have been about 10 years ago or so. I made a deal. I was putting together this program, and I wanted to distribute it to a lot of people, like 3 or 4 thousand, using a flash drive, and made a deal with them. Everything went beautifully. And so I've done some other transactions. Most of the movements I buy are from China. A lot of them aren't the best movements in the world, I admit, but I haven't been burned. Not that not that there aren't, just like everywhere else. There's some people you wouldn't want to deal with. Uh, let's see. I'd rather pay a bit more, but know the party I'm buying from. Yeah, to me, Rick, there's the difference between a bit more and a lot more. If if I see something that really a good buy, and I have, with people, actually, the guy in Poland had a great deal for me, and I may go back to him once this whole pandemic is behind us. I mean, he was a good guy, and he had a good price on something. So it's one of those things that you can it's as long as you really scope something out. I think that's what's important. Pay attention to it. Ask around. I do a lot of investigation on anybody I buy from, and then I'll buy something. One of the best deals I ever got, dumbest thing in the world that I did, but got lucky. The guy that I bought it from was honest, and I didn't know that. I sent him a check. I sent him a cashier's check to an address in New York City. Got the watch, and it was everything he said it was. and it's been one of my favorite watches. And then after I had it serviced, it became even more favorite. So you have to, there are all kinds of things like that. Okay, let's hear some more horror stories or surprising stories. Agreed to meet and buy at a city called Portage in Indiana. He drove 2 hours to the wrong city. He was so mad and called me and said the price had gone up a few hundred. I didn't buy. He went to the wrong place. I, no comments about Indiana. Hi, Phil. How you doing? I think the best deals could be got from Japan. They really keep their watches in great condition. Had great experience. Abdul, I've heard that from other people too. Dealing with the Japanese has been really good. One of the things, though, is that the ones that I tried to deal with weren't very interested in negotiations, which is really funny. With my Swedish background, there was one time when the Swedes were getting into that, they ran into all kinds of problems with businesses dealing overseas because there was no negotiation. They had everything all worked out and down to the penny, and they saw that as a fair price with this and this and this. And I said, "This is it." And people would say, "Well, how about this? How about no deal?" And I don't know. I had that same sense that I didn't see it as price gouging or anything like that. But I always negotiate. So some people, I mean, if you don't, whatever you don't negotiate for, you might as well throw it on the ground and walk away from it. Hey, Forbin, nastiest thing is a watch encrusted with skin, DNA. Something about that too. Hi, Paul. Forbin, any watch that I get today, I take out my cleaner and go to town on it. See if I have it right here. Yeah, I keep some of this stuff, and anything on it gets cleaned up pretty well. But that would give me the creeps, something like that. Yeah, in the pictures from that I've seen on Chrono 24, I would say 9 out of 10 of them are lazy. And I say that because, you want to, if you have a watch for sale, you want to show everything about it. Now, if you don't want to flip it over because you got a broken crystal in the back, that's something else. But I'm always surprised how little information a lot of them give. They don't know the year. They not never, but very seldom give the caliber. They'll say, automatic. That doesn't tell you anything. FYI only, I am currently selling a Gray Side of the Moon, Adventure Speedy Pro, JLC Master, Ultra Thin, Perpetual, Planet Ocean. Whew, boy, you got a lot of cool stuff there, Rick. Yeah. Wow, man, Abdul, boy, you really had a bad experience. Like I said, I've been dumb lucky as far as those things are concerned. I think the one that I told you about, having to meet Mr. Mysterious in New York, I must have walked 3 or 4 miles before they finally appeared out of a manhole or somewhere and said, "Here it is. Hey, King, how you doing? Der Aller Ice King." I hate to mispronounce everything, so I wish people had like simple names like Tom, Dick, or Harry, but that's okay. Seeing your FPJ cap, contacted 4 FPJ boutiques the last days, got 4 different MSRPs on the same watch. Wow, a lot not only some percent due to VAT. Wow, that's interesting. Um, whoa, I wouldn't buy online. Said I'm saying, Hans, most of the stuff I buy is that exactly that way. Uh, that's and I'll see a picture of something, and sometimes it's not even a very good picture because the watch I get looks a lot better in the picture. So it's a funny kind of thing. Some people, I do my research, so I really do. This one, if it's in the United States, they'll find the guy's address. Don't ask me how, but I'll find it, and I'll hop on a plane and go get him. Like, hi, James Conn, what is it? Let's see. Okay. Not P. Rick, I don't understand. JLC is Black Dial Steel's MUTP. What is MUTP? I think you need to spell that out because they've got it blocked for some reason. I would buy from eBay if I wanted to practice taking stuff apart for repairs. Let's see. I did have one bad experience, but it wasn't because of eBay. It was because of the seller, and that was not eBay's fault. And in fact, the people behind all of the bad stuff were actually the manufacturer who weren't telling the truth about something. Yeah, Russian roulette. Well, maybe. You can buy a watch. You can go in, look the guy in the eye, look at his watch. It looks great, and take it home, and a month later it breaks. So I don't know. Hans, yeah, and it's not Russian roulette if you do your research. That's the big thing. If you don't do your research, everything is Russian roulette. I don't care if you, I would never, well, rarely, buy it from a friend because that's how you get in trouble with you. You don't have a friend anymore in case something goes wrong. Yeah, hey, Al, a lot of people are make, that's the same thing that they feel. I would miss out on too much if I did that. I really would, because there are some watches that are relatively rare that I like, and I can't get them that way. But I'm not disagreeing with you. There was one watch that I bought that was one of the biggest mistakes I made. It wasn't the seller's fault; it was my own fault. And I should have put it on before I bought it. But I went down to the store after making a deal with this guy, and for some reason I thought I was somehow obliged to buy it. And he didn't give me any bad information. I just wanted it so bad that I wasn't thinking right. Ended up having to trade it in and lost a couple thousand on it. 9 out of 10 of my eBay experiences are great. The one is when I do impulsive buy. Yeah, that happens to all of us, Abdul. People like me, anyway. I will fly if I really want it. Yeah, I told you guys about the story of the guy who had made a deal with the place in Spain, sent him down payment on the watch, and he gets there and the guy jacks up the price. It's like, man, that would have made me mad. I would have hired a skywriter and have them put in there. These guys are, Ajax watches are no good, something like that. Well, look, guys, I just thought I'd share some weirdness with you today, and I'd like to get a Girard-Perregaux. I don't even do that. I mean, if it's if it's on the other side of the country or the other side of the world, how are you going to check it on a time grapher? Once I get it, I can check it. But I don't know. Okay, guys, listen. Take care. I'll give you the same. This is your mother talking to you. we don't have much time left for the pandemic, but we are going to have a huge surge, at least in the United States, from Thanksgiving, and there may be another one after Christmas because everybody gets together and travels, and that damn bug, boom, just is really swarming. So if you do anything, wear a stupid mask and try to keep your distance, okay? I hate wearing those damn things, but it's important. It's really important to wear a mask because I think you'll save yourself and others doing so. In the meantime, behave yourself.